All right. So tonight's call is kind of twofold because I said something about using your stories to help grow your business. And I was mostly meaning like Facebook and Instagram stories, but it's also kind of like just learning how to hone in and share your story. And so I'm going to kind of start with the like the social media aspect, and then we'll get into a simple activity that I posted in our team page last week, but I kind of want to hit on it a little further on something you can do to write out some simple things that'll help you find post ideas to be able to share bits and pieces of your story, your personality, and things like that for your audience. So the first thing I want to go into is your stories on social media. So I don't know, I wish you could see this. So Emily, I don't know if you've figured this out yet because I don't think you're on Instagram as much. But if you go up in that top left corner on Instagram, that's how you put stuff in your stories. So then you get like a screen like, probably going to see yourselves like this. All right. And then you have all these different options down here. Okay. I know you can't read them necessarily, but so there's like create, where you can type. There's live, which Candace knows how to do that because she went live on Instagram the other day. And there's normal, which with normal you have to like hold down if you're doing video or picture. Boomerang is where it does like a fast forward, rewind, like it'll be like a real short clip of you like say waving your hand, and this is just what it looks like, forward, back. It's kind of fun. Super zoom, which like has all different kinds of settings where you can like zoom in on something and it plays like music, like I do with the kids. But the best one for me is the hands-free. So if you swipe all the way left, you get hands-free option. I don't know if I'm trying to get you to see it. See it there? And with that, that is how I record video clips of me working out. Because if you just press on it, then it will automatically start. But if you hold it down, it'll give you a 3-second timer. And then you can set it up. So I have a tripod that I use, or you can just prop your phone up on some, like a book or something. That's how I record my video clips. So I always try to make sure I have a light source behind my phone so that it makes it, especially working out that early in the morning when the sun's not up yet, it makes me like not look like I'm in the dark necessarily, because I have an old house with like yellow walls, so it can make things look dingy. But it'll automatically record 10-15-second clips while if you just let it run, and it'll eventually kick off. And then from that, let me see if I can, just gonna do like a little, okay. And then you stop it, and then it'll give you these little, I'm trying to show, right there, the first one next to the X has like a little like save icon. All right, and then you can click, if you do the 10-15-second clips, they'll all show up in the bottom. And then you can click on the ones you want, save them. This is what I do, save them. And then after you're done with your workout, you can pick what clips, those clips you want, and piece them together and like do a filter over it, type words on it. Like I usually go by stuff that I think about when I'm working out. Like if the trainer said something that motivated me, kind of what like the thought process that's going on in my head when I'm working out and different things like that. Okay, I'm gonna take this off because this is me doing that. It's freaking me out a little bit. But you have all those different options of things to do. Let me see. Okay, so that's what I normally do. I use the app called Mojo, M-O-J-O. And it has free options on there, and that's how I do, like, if you've ever seen in my stories how I piece together multiple like video clips. that's where I do that. And it'll link it to your Instagram. So if you go in the Mojo app and then like save, and then it'll have like the Instagram thing at the bottom, then that's what I click on, and then it automatically puts it in my stories, and then I like can add my filter, my text, and things like that. All right. When you, after you have a video recorded, it'll give you all these little, trying to figure out the right angle, things at the top, and there's this one that looks like a sticky note. When you click on that, that's where it gives you options. I know you can't really read them, but there's like music, there's, you can put a GIF on there, or GIF, or however you say it. You can add hashtags. You can add like tag someone, like tag me, tag someone on our team. You can put locations, time. You can add questions where people can actually go in and respond to your questions, and then you get those. You can do quizzes, all different kinds of things that you can do from that. So I have, and I'm sure most of you guys have, your Instagram is already linked to your Facebook profile. So there's a way, so say I'm in my stories, I haven't added anything, there's this little, like, it looks like a gear up here in the upper left corner, and that is your settings within your stories. And you can have it, like I have mine set to where it automatically saves to my camera roll. So if there's ever anything that for some reason doesn't post right or post weird or anything like that, it automatically saves it to my phone too if I need to use it for anything else. But you can make sure it is linked to your Facebook stories too. So I don't go and post things both places. I have it linked. So I just upload everything on Instagram, same with my posts and everything like that. And then it automatically puts it into my stories on Facebook too, which is really nice because it's not as time consuming doing it that way. So I always show like anywhere from 3 to 5 clips of my workout in the morning, or I do one like collage type thing that has like 3 to 5 little whatever clips from my workout. So that's kind of how I do that. But I wanted to kind of hit on, because I know that was the one I feel like most people had the question about. So this is the Success Club System Tracker, and I have that in the new coaches start here unit in our Team Misfits page. But it has on here, so it has all of your activities you should eventually, you don't necessarily have to do all these right away as a brand new coach. The main things you want to hit on as a brand new coach are the black sections, the main headers. Then as you get more comfortable, you can start delving more into like the little bullet points, I guess you could say. But on the Facebook and Instagram story, it says, it gives you ideas of what to post in your story. So they're like making it really easy for you to figure out how to kind of show. What this does is it basically builds a deeper sense of trust with your audience, because instead of just seeing posts that are written and typed out and well thought and like developed, they're like getting to see you a little bit more unfiltered. They're getting to know you on a more personal level. They're getting to hear your voice. They're getting to see what you do throughout the day, and different things like that, kind of your lifestyle. So the tips they give you in the Success Club System Tracker is showing parts of your daily life. So I show like me doing stuff with my girls throughout the day, workout clips, product use. So every single morning, one of the first things I show is either a picture or a boomerang or something of me with what I call Mommy Sunshine, which is my name for Energize, because that has been my trigger for well over 2 years now, that I keep it in my bathroom every night, drink it first thing in the morning, and then like once I do that, it's like a no-brainer. Workout is going to happen. But you never want to show necessarily brand names. The reason for that being, and they call it, what do they call it? Curiosity marketing, is that if people know the name of stuff, they're likely to go on and order it themselves or do their own research versus coming to you. So Shakeology, Energize, like like using the term Beachbody and things like that. It's fine in content or in small dosage, but you really want them to be like, what is that you're using? What is that shake you're drinking? What workout program are you doing right now? Because if they come to you, then they're showing that they trust you. They're intrigued by what you're doing. They're not necessarily, oh, she's giving away her secrets. Like, now I can just go and do this. And because that happens a lot. There's a lot of people, when I first started, they would just go on and order something instead of coming to me because they knew what I was doing. Because, new coach, I didn't know. I would just like blast it all over the place. And then they're missing that key component where they're having a coach, they're getting accountability, they're getting to be a part of the community, which is the biggest thing that will give people success in their own health journey. This thing is like whiting me out. It's freaking me out. So that's why they say different products used without the name brand shown. Healthy meal or meal prep, even just showing pictures of like what you're eating throughout the day. It doesn't have to be every meal. I usually try to do at least one. And then invitation, promote group, poll, or call to action. So you can do little things. When I showed you that little sticky note thing, that gives you the option of doing polls. So you can just ask a simple question and then you can create responses, and then people can click on that yes or no response. Or I usually do a yes or a maybe, or I'm not sure. I don't necessarily do a yes and no. And then from that, when they do that, it'll show you who responds to that poll and what option they picked. And that's just another way to get your audience interacting with you. And then it's kind of like a segue into conversation too. So you automatically can start reaching out to them. And sometimes people like, I'm kind of funny, and I will move it in a place where I know there's a chance people are going to accidentally click on it, like tapping through, but it gives me a chance to still reach out to them. I'll be like, oh, did you mean to respond to my poll, or was that an accidental click? Because I totally do that too, or just something like that. And then they'll be like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. Or they'll be like, well, I was actually interested. So it's just kind of neat. You can do random things like about like TV shows you're watching. You watch this show, yes or no. Random things like I saw, Candace, you've been doing some different like fashion type things on your just like you need to show your personality and not all necessarily be all Beachbody all the time, which that's kind of the beauty of stories too. So anything you want to talk about, you can use polls. But say you're doing a workout clip and you want to say, oh, I'm going to do this program again, or I have 1 week left of this program. Do you want to hop in with me in my, I don't know, my next fit camp group, or whatever you would want to call it? Do you want to hop in with me and my friends for this next workout program I'm going to do? Put the yes or no or whatever. Those are simple ways you can like invite people into what you're doing in your stories. It's just, it doesn't always have to be you talking about what you're doing and then asking them. It can be just simple things like showing your workouts or showing, I don't know, maybe you're giving meal prep tips in your stories, and then be like, would something like this be helpful to you? Yes or no. Like little things like that are ways that you can kind of invite people and start to build relationships and create trust and stuff like that. And then doing recognition or shout outs. So as you guys get to where you're getting more clients, having coaches join your team and things like that, you can always do little like shout outs or recognition on your story too. Like, oh, this girl's really killing it in her workouts. Like, I'm so proud of her. Just little things like that. Because people will be watching those things, and they will see those things and be like, oh, if she's doing this, I want to do this too. Like, they're probably automatically going to go to that girl's profile, see what she's all about, and see if like, oh, she's just, whatever. And then they'll be like, if she can do this, then I can do this too, sort of thing, and it kind of creates that FOMO, that fear of missing out. The more little things that we show about kind of our lifestyle, how our groups work, what we do as coaches, things like that. So yeah, that's kind of the main thing I wanted to hit on as far as those stories, is they're just a really kind of more personal way for our audience to get to know us, because like I said, it's nothing you can plan out ahead of time. It's done on the fly. It's like a lot more kind of live, so to speak. And it's unfiltered, it's more raw, and it helps them to get to know you better. Like sometimes, I mean, I'm like, there's times I've talked on there when I'm like sitting in bed, hair's a mess because I just brushed it after having it in a ponytail all day. Retainers are in, but it makes, I think of something, and I sometimes have talked, and I'm like, sorry if I have a list because I have my retainers in. But, you know, people need to see that. Like that's, the longer we are in this business, the more people will think that we're some like just like celebrity almost. I know it sounds weird, but like that's the dream when we get to where we're like celebrity status for people that follow us. But um, they need to see that we're real people, that we have real issues. Like I was having a day, I don't know, a month ago, where I was like super anxious, like couldn't, felt like I couldn't control myself, and I was just kind of pouring out my heart on my story, and I had so many moms respond to me saying, oh, I've had a day like that too, like I'm glad I'm not the only one. So it's just little things like that that allow us to kind of build more trust and connect with our audience on a more personal level. Like there's people that just respond to different things, like even pictures of my food, they're like, oh, that salad looks really delicious. Like you don't get those same kind of interactions necessarily on your posts that you can get in your stories. So, and just asking random questions all the time too will help you get to know what your audience needs to hear more of too. um, so that's kind of what I wanted to hit on as far as that goes. And if you ever have any questions or need help kind of learning how to do some of that stuff, I'd always love to chat with you more one-on-one so I can kind of walk you through that. Because it's just so funny when none of that stuff was around when I first started as a coach. Like even sharing our stories wasn't as big of a deal. Like we got by just on like sharing recipes, sharing motivational tips and stuff like that. But I kind of like how Beachbody coaching has evolved into more of sharing our stories too, because I feel like we all have this really awesome platform and we can use it however we seem fit. And it's a place where we can kind of share more of who we are, maybe what we've overcome and things like that, that we probably would never be brave enough to do if we weren't coaches. Like, I know there's so many things I would have never shared about, but it's like God gave us this platform and now we have this voice to use to help someone out there who desperately needs to hear it in that moment. So that's the way I always kind of think of like aspects of my story that I've shared. I try to like think back to like what was going on in my mind, what was going on in my heart whenever I felt these things. Like you very rarely ever share anything while you're in the heat of the moment. It's more like once you overcome it and you've had time to reflect, and then you can like kind of share on that. But the little activity I was going to give you guys, it's very simple. And you can do it with like different things. Like you can do it with workout, you can do it with personal life, you can do it with like just regular day in the life or business related. But you want to think of, you can write down these 3 categories. How am I weird or unique? Like what things are just like you things, like your personal tics or what makes you you. How am I normal? And then what things in my life have I overcome? And if you sit down and write out those categories and leave enough space underneath each one to kind of fill it in, you will automatically start coming up with a lot of post ideas. And I did this about a year ago, and I had all these little things. And I kept that paper if I ever need to reference it. But like certain things like me that make me me is I'm a girl mom. Like I don't have voice, so it's harder for me necessarily to relate to that aspect. Plus I've only had sisters, so I don't really know what it's like to have a little voice. I just don't like You know, you guys know because you guys both have boys, but I can't relate to that. I've never changed a diaper. I've had one bad traumatic experience when my mom babysat one of my boy cousins as a kid. It was like all over the bathroom, but I don't have those experiences myself. So that's something that makes me me. Like there aren't many coaches, at least I think I'm the only one on our like team between Misfits and Spirit and Spunk that has a career in fitness outside of coaching. For the most part, a lot of people are teachers, are there health professions, or like Emily's like former military. Like I'm kind of in the minority within our team. So I could share things or talk about like sciencey term things all the time. I don't necessarily, but that's something that makes me unique. So it's just thinking about those kind of things that are like you things, like what your profession is, different things like that, that make you you. And those are kind of the people you want to be talking to, because you want to kind of relate to people that have those pieces of your story, or what make you you, what you've overcome, what makes you weird, what makes you normal. Those people will start kind of coming, and you'll see them start to automatically like show up on a consistent basis because they relate to some part of your story. Like every single one of the women that's on our team related to some piece of my story, and we connected, and I felt connected to you all, and I knew that this would be something that would be awesome for you to do. So it's just kind of cool the more you start putting yourself out there and sharing parts of your story. And like I said, they don't always have to be in depth, like just thinking back to like maybe even fitness wise, like relating to if you were an athlete in the past, like what sort of things did you love about being an athlete or being part of a team in that community, or, you know, different things like that, that kind of like it's the way I think of it is you always want to say, this is how things were. This is how I wanted them to be. And now this is how they are. That's kind of how you piece together your stories, like a before, where you are now, and like the solution. Like it's a problem solution kind of situation, if that makes any sense. So that's kind of the gist. Like that activity will help you come up with a lot of different things to start sharing in posts and even in your stories and things like that, because you can like eventually go through like pictures and put pictures back to back in your stories and like use the type, whatever it's called, and like type in aspects of your story and then like have like a storyline almost in your story. But just little things like that are all different ways that you can kind of share and tell your story too. So I'm gonna open it up. You guys can go off mute if you have any questions or things you might just want to talk about relating to that. Anything else?
I missed the beginning, Elena. What was you were talking about, whatever you're missing in the first, I couldn't hear you, so I didn't even hear what you're talking about. Was it how to make really good pictures or videos?
Yeah, I was showing how to utilize Instagram stories. So I have everything on my Instagram story settings to where it automatically posts it in my Facebook stories too. So and I was kind of showing like how I do my video clips.
Yeah, I think that's what I missed is how you do your video. You said you have an app that you use and that's linked to your Instagram.
Yeah, so what I do first is I have my Instagram story thing pulled up and I swipe all the way left. And when I do that, it gives me the hands-free option. And if you hold on that button, it'll give a 3-second countdown. And then I do my workout and I normally just let it run. Either I let it run until I have a rest break, or I let it run until it'll do 10, 15-second clips. And then I just click, it'll give you like a 15 or a strip at the bottom of all those workout clips, and I just tap on the one and then that I want to use, and then I save it to my phone. And then after my workout's done, that's when I like go back and like it'll allow you. Let me see if I can show it real quick. It says we're almost out of time, but we have almost 9 minutes. So in this bottom right corner there, that's where it has all your pictures and like everything in your phone. You click on that, and up here, it's got like it looks like multiple photos stacked on each other. It'll allow you to select multiple things.
Oh, I think I used to know how to do that.
Yeah, you could put a bunch of pictures or videos, select all the ones you want to do, and then it'll put them in a strip, and then you can click on that one, add your filter, your GIF. If you want to ask a question or anything like that, then you can add all that to it.
When cheers occurring within 2,000 feet of the map.
And then post it to your stories after that. So, and that makes it a little bit easier. But yes, I use a Mojo, M-O-J-O app. Sometimes if I want to put all my videos in like a collage, and then I normally like mute it and go into that little sticky note feature in your story, and I'll add like music to it. So you just type in like the artist or song you want, and it'll do that. So it's kind of fun to just play around with the different features, but that's what works best for me. I used to try to like post them as I went in my workout, and then that just got to be a mess. So I just kind of let it run, and then I pick out the clips, because normally if you let it run for 10, 15-second clips, that's normally going to get a couple different moves from your workout, and then you just save the ones you want to use and then go in when your workout's done, like while you're sitting there dying on the ground trying to catch your breath or drink recover or whatever you want to do. And then that's when you can go and add them to your stories. So I usually show like me with my Energize before my workout. I normally do like a little dance party before I start. It's kind of like my little, okay, this Energize is kicking in sort of thing. And then I show some clips from my workout. And then I normally have like a sweaty selfie after, like that's saying like the workout number or whatever. And I almost always like timestamp it too. I timestamp when I wake up in the morning, because that's when people come up to me almost every single day. How do you wake up so early in the morning? Like my mommy sunshine, my Energize. I said that's just a habit I've got in. I wake up, I drink that first thing, and then it's on like Donkey Kong. So, but yeah, just it's kind of fun to be able to kind of piece together little aspects of your day. And I think it says, like, I usually say try to have at least 10 clips in your stories a day. It doesn't take very long. Like I said, it can just be pictures that you've taken throughout the day, like pictures of your food, pictures of you and your kids, or you at work or whatever. But it's just kind of showing the storyline of your day and just allowing your audience to kind of see bits and pieces of you and kind of how your life goes. So does anybody have any other questions, since we got about a little under 6 minutes left before we kick this off? Because I have the free account still, so it's like 40 minutes. But Candace, does that help you a lot? I know you were kind of asking some about the video part.
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
I was like literally in my living room. Mitchell was cracking up. I was in my living room propping up my phone and hitting that hands-free button and like running backwards, and then my phone would fall over and I'd get back up, and like I would watch the replay, and I'm like, there's just no way I can post that. They're gonna think I'm like drunk. Like I'm like, I don't even know.
But at the same time, people will love that kind of stuff too, because it's that raw, unfiltered. Like that's why they love stories.
Yeah, granted, that's me. Like I'm uncoordinated. And then I watched the video and I'm like, oh my.
Yeah, I have a tripod that I just got at like Walmart for like 15 or 20 bucks, but I can prop it up and I can use it for like pictures and stuff too. Take it outside on a nice day if you want. But people sometimes need to see that too. But Yeah, and you can even like just take videos on your phone. So like on yoga days or workouts that are slow paced or stretching, I normally will just go into the video on my phone and do the time lapse feature. And then anything that's saved to your phone video wise, it'll still upload it, but you only have those. It has to be short. So I use the time lapse, so I just record my entire workout, but that puts it in like super fast motion for a yoga or stretching routine. And then it'll automatically pull up all the 15-second clips pieced together. And I can show like my.
And then you can actually, so if you do that like on your phone, you can actually still upload that to Instagram though, right?
Yeah, that little thing that I showed in the bottom left corner where it has your camera roll. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would just open it and click on it from there. Mm-hmm. So
I didn't realize how not tech savvy I was with my phone until I started. It was funny. I actually, one of those pictures, I took the picture with me holding both the boys.
Yeah.
I actually got the most like people sending me messages about that because they're like, how did you take a picture without your hands? I'm like, well, I used my timer. I figured that much out.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny, like how much you'll learn through running a business on your phone that you would have never known before. But people are like blown away by it. They're always like, do you have like a photographer? I said, no, I used a timer on my phone in portrait mode. Like, or sometimes I have Avery, my oldest daughter, she's actually a really good photographer. So sometimes I'll have her take like candid pictures of me with the youngest one. Like I had one of my favorite pictures of me nursing my youngest. Like I was sitting on the floor by her crib and Avery took that picture. And it's something like seeing yourself through your own kid's eyes. Like that's one of my favorite pictures I have. So yeah. Do you have another question? Anybody? I think it's got like a little over 2 minutes. Yes, Emily.
I had a client today who didn't realize that her Shakeology was going to autofill.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Even though we talked about it a lot, so I had her call customer service and see what she could do. I think she's getting a refund, but she's going to have to pay for shipping to send it back.
Yeah.
So, and I feel awful because we talked about it. We talked about it a lot. I was like, you can even delay it. Like, you know, just don't forget it'll renew after 30 days. So that makes me feel bad. So.
It happens all the time. You tell people, they get the little thing where they find out that it's going to be 30 days when they sign up. Beachbody sends them an email. Most people don't realize, like they just disregard that email. They don't realize that it's saying like your next order of Shakeology is coming up. Like, so yeah, normally I try to tell people when they sign up to, I'm like, okay, post like right on your calendar in 30 days, like make a note, but yeah. Oh well, you let her know. It's fixable, so it is what it is.